Nearly 24 hours after the Air India Express repatriation flight overshot the runway and fell into a gorge, leaving 18 passengers dead, a probe into the cause of the accident is underway. Earlier today, Union Minister Hardeep Suri, the Civil Aviation Minister, visited this accident site to take stock of the situation. The black box and voice recorder, crucial evidence to determine what exactly caused the accident, have been retrieved from the spot. Also, the Chief Minister of Kerala, along with the Governor, visited hospitals where a major number of the passengers have been admitted with serious injuries. The Chief Minister, in fact, commended the first respondents and locals who rushed to the scene to assist the probe. Now, there is a probe currently underway in the matter. We're going to bring you more details on that. But first, I want to go across to my colleague Shreeja. Shreeja, just give us a sense today of the investigation into this case. We've seen the Civil Aviation Minister visit the spot, senior officials of the DGCA, Air Traffic Control and the Airport Authority of India as well, taking stock of the situation and gathering evidence.
Well, that's right, Aarti. In fact, apart from various agencies, as far as the aircraft agencies, including the Airport Authority, as well as DGCA visiting the spot to inspect as to what really went wrong, those final moments, we see some of the leaders, including especially Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Apart from that, the Governor of Kerala, Mohammed Arif, including especially Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep, was also at that very spot. In fact, they had conversations and also meeting, especially with the officials who were at the spot to inspect. Remember, not just to in fact cut the floorboard to immediately take out that particular the voice recorder, the cockpit voice recorder, but also for the digital data as well. So these are some things that in fact happened in today, and also that apart, we understand 2 black boxes have also been in fact discovered. This is intact. They have remained intact, unlike the 2010 Mangaluru case, which even the Civil Aviation Minister did speak to us about. Now, that apart, he did stress upon the fact how the in fact, the pilot, especially Deepak, he had the presence of mind, and apart from that, he also did go on to say he had over 10,000 of flying hours, and he did in his best capacity to ensure that, to minimize the casualties, and that's exactly what happened. So the update that we're getting from on ground is that nearly 18 of them have lost their lives in this particular mishap. That apart, over 149 of them are undergoing treatment at this point in time, and nearly 23 of them have been discharged. Now, as far as the Civil Aviation Minister goes, we did try and question him as to the status of the investigation, as to what really has he been able to gather from the ground officials. All that he could say is that right now the black box and all the materials have been sent to Delhi. Once it is analyzed and the investigation is done, only then will they be able to tell, apart from the weather that they also spoke about, whether it was also the landing gear failure. Now, that is something to be found out.
Shreeja, thanks so much for bringing us that. In fact, I just want to stay focused on this probe itself. Neha Kulkarni is also going to join us for more on that. There are 2 investigating teams that are currently probing the mishap and to find out what exactly has gone wrong. The black box as well as the aircraft voice recorder have been recovered from the accident site. This is going to be very crucial to determine the sequence of events as they unfolded and thus led to the crash. Now, sources also suggest that the aircraft had landed on its nose just beyond the touchdown spot, and earlier today the DGCA, Airport Authority and ATC officials submitted their initial assessment. Neha Kulkarni with us for more on this. Neha, what are you picking up from your sources at the DGCA?
Aarti, what we've learned till now is that the investigation as far as the collecting the crash, the evidence from the crash site, that is something that is over as of the primary evidence which they required, that is something which is over. We also understand that the Chief of Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, Aurobindo Handa, who had been there himself to witness the site, he has also returned from the crash site along with the Minister of Civil Aviation. While we understand that some other members of AIB had also gone to the crash site, they are expected to be there longer to be able to collect more evidence and also speak to more officials. At the same time, Aarti had how we had said earlier as to AIB had specifically pointed out two things. Considering that the visibility was of 2,000 meters, it was something that was considered a very good weather in good visibility, something that is considered suitable for the pilot to have the landing. So that is something which the AIB has said. Second thing, they have ruled out the theory of landing gears getting jammed, because they say that the tire marks that are observed on the runway can be clearly and evidently seen, and which is why the entire theory of the fact that the landing gears could have been jammed, which is what caused the pilot to take a little longer for the landing to happen. They have practically said that it doesn't look that way. Other facts are still getting collected, Aarti. We understand that the scientific investigation of the debris will also happen. Along with that, the checking of the cockpit voice recorder and also flight data recorder will be done. So this is something which is going to take time. We are expecting a preliminary report on the evidence collection and on the basic details within a couple of days. That should be uploaded on the Civil Aviation Ministry's website.
Well, Leah, stay with us. Earlier, my colleague Shilpa Nair caught up with the Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Suri, who was taking stock of the situation in Kozhikode. He was tight-lipped about the possible cause of the accident and said we should just wait for the inquiry report.
I have met with all the concerned authorities, the local state government, police authorities, airport authorities. Rescue operations were completed last night. All those who were hospitalized are receiving medical treatment. Unfortunately, we've lost 18 lives and several people have been discharged. People, as they are in a position to be discharged, they're discharged. We have an inquiry, investigation into the accident, which is a statutory requirement. The flight to both black boxes have been found, and very soon we will know the exact causation.
Sir, but there are several concerns that have been raised. There is a DGCA notice,
This is all speculative. This is all speculative. The causes of the accident can be determined through the investigation, and as soon as those facts are known very soon, they will be shared with everybody.
And sir, according to the preliminary information that you're getting, what exactly happened yesterday?
You are repeating yourself. I told you there is an investigation going on. Black boxes have been found, and we will determine the exact cause.
Well, the minister there dismissing any concerns that were raised in the past, saying no red flags were ignored. But this particular airport, which is a tabletop runway, which makes landing a challenging experiences, also had a number of red flags raised and security concerns raised by the DGCA itself about the nature and the security of the runway. But earlier today, the Civil Aviation Minister once again said that the issues that were raised by the DGCA were addressed back then itself and had no bearing on this particular accident.
So in 2019, there was a letter from the DGCA that went in to the Calicut Airport talking about 8 different shortcomings.
One of the first things I did when I heard this, because I've been Civil Aviation Minister since June 2019, I called the Director General of Civil Aviation and I spoke to him, and he was absolutely explicit that whatever observations he had made, something to the effect of rubber on the runway, etc., all those were addressed. So my assertion to you at this point is that those observations were attended to, and let me also tell you, if they had not been, we would not have given the clearance for this thing. So, but these are, as I said, no point speculating, they are unrelated, but once the inquiry investigation has been completed, we can revisit the issue.
Well, similarly, the Chief of the Airport Authority of India also reiterated the minister's claims and said that the issues that were raised by the DGCA in 2015 had been addressed by 2019 itself.
देखिए, डीजीसीए ने 2015 में भी और पहले भी सवाल उठाए थे, लेकिन 2019 में जो उनकी शंकाएं थी उन सब का निस्सरण कर दिया गया था, सारी शंकाएं दूर कर दी गई थी, जैसे कि सारे कंप्लायंस उनकी जो ऑब्जेक्शंस थे कि रबर रिमूवल नहीं हो रहा था, और डीजीसीए ने उसके बाद कोड ई मतलब वाइट बॉडीड एयरक्राफ्ट की परमिशन दे दी थी, और उसके बाद जंबो जेट्स भी एयर इंडिया के और अन्य एयरलाइंस के वहां लैंड कर रहे थे, सो पहले थी उसमें कुछ कमियां थी जिनका जुलाई 2019 में DGCA ने क्लियरेंस दे दिया था.
Well, Neha Kulkarni is still with us for more on this. Now, Neha, we heard both the Civil Aviation Minister and the Airport Authority of India Chief denying that this incident has anything to do with the red flags that were raised, saying all those safety concerns indeed addressed in the past. But just take us through what those issues were, because the Calicut Airport is a tabletop runway. So for flights to be landing there itself is a challenging experience. In addition to that, these red flags were also raised about the condition of the runway itself.
Yes, Aarti, that's right. This is an airport which has been spoken about for its dangers not once but twice. After the Mangaluru airport crash in 2010, we understand that the Ministry of Civil Aviation had appointed a committee to be able to give suggestions for 2 airports in Kerala that had these tabletop kinds of runway. One is Mangaluru itself and the other was Calicut. Now here also the recommendations that were given were obviously to have implemented a system. This system basically ensures that whenever an aircraft has a landing, it is able to ensure a safer landing without having to fall inside the ditch or the valley, as we call it, where this aircraft specifically landed. It's a system that is supposed to be in place, which is an engineering system. Now this was obviously rejected by the Airport Authority of India, supposedly because the cost of installing it was higher then. Back in 2010, this was a suggestion that was given. In 2019 also we understand, Aarti, which is just a year before this incident has been reported now, the DGCA had also issued a show cause notice to the airport director and raised severe concerns about the rubber portions, as the journalist was asking Minister then. Then there were also problems with water stagnation at the runway. Water stagnation causes major problem, especially during rainy days. The aircraft is not able to have a safe landing and it causes skidding usually. And the other concerns were obviously the deep gorges that are there at parallel sides of the runway and the other stretch marks that are observed at the runway, which should not be there, the scars that we call it. All of this, the minister is claiming that it has been rendered to, and the clearance were given only after the AI had done its work. But how much of it was done will be clearer only once the investigation report is out.
Well, Neha, thanks so much for that update. We'll keep coming back to you. Of course, the probe will reveal what really caused this incident, but this is just a background of the Calicut Airport in itself. Now, Mirana has been at this crash site through the day. Shreeja sent us this report from there. Take a look.
Sir, നിങ്ങൾ എന്താണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് കണ്ടത് അതൊന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഏകദേശം ഒരു 7:30-7:45 ഇടയിലായിട്ട് 2 സ്ഫോടന ശബ്ദം കേട്ടു. ഇന്നലെ കാലവർഷം നല്ല ശക്തിയായി മഴ പെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതിൻ്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ ഇടി വെട്ടിയതാണെന്നാണ് ഞങ്ങൾ കരുതിയത്. പക്ഷേ പുറത്തേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി നോക്കിയപ്പോഴാണ് ഇതല്ലാന്ന് മനസ്സിലാവുന്നത്. ഉടനെ തന്നെ റോഡിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി അവിടെ നിന്ന് നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഏകദേശം 20 മീറ്റർ ദൂരത്ത് നിന്ന് തന്നെ ഞങ്ങൾക്ക് റൺവേയിൽ നിന്നും ഫ്ലൈറ്റ് സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് താഴേക്ക് വന്നതായിട്ട് കാണാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞു.
എന്താണ് നിങ്ങൾ ആദ്യം കണ്ടത് ഇവിടെ?